Hello everyone, welcome to today's lecture. So we have finished with the first term. We are going to start with the second term today. The first chapter of second term is Reflection of Light, chapter 11. This is of Science 1. Okay. In the first part of the chapter, first we will see the can you recall questions. On page number 115, what is light? The answer is there in the first paragraph, the last sentence of the first paragraph. Light is actually electromagnetic radiation which causes sensation of vision. Okay, we are able to see due to reflection of light. And what is light? Light is an electromagnetic radiation. What is meant by reflection of light? The bouncing back of light rays which fall on a surface, that is called as reflection of light. What is reflection of light? The bouncing back of light rays which fall on a surface, a polished surface, a smooth surface. Okay, that is said to be reflection of light. Which are the different types of reflection? The two different types of reflection are regular reflection and irregular reflection. Do you remember regular reflection? Regular reflection is reflection from a smooth surface, okay, and irregular reflection is reflection from a rough surface. So reflection from a smooth surface is called as regular reflection and reflection from a rough surface is called as irregular reflection. Okay, you might have studied this in your lower classes. Okay, now first question, can you tell about mirrors? Now in this chapter we are going to study about plane mirrors and spherical mirrors. So we have to study the characteristics of images formed by plane mirror and the spherical mirror and its image formation. Okay, first we will see what is a mirror. The second paragraph under that question, what is a mirror? A surface which reflects light and creates clear images is called a mirror. I repeat, a surface which reflects light and creates clear images is called a mirror. There are two types of mirror, plane mirror and spherical mirror. And plane mirror, how is it produced? How is it made? You may see last paragraph. A mirror is made by coating the back surface of a flat and smooth glass piece with a thin reflecting film of aluminium or silver. To protect this reflecting film and to make that side opaque, another coat of a substance like lead oxide is given on it. So what is done? You have to take a glass surface. Okay, you have to take a glass, both the sides, you can see from both sides. Okay, that means it is transparent. A glass is transparent. Now if you have to convert a glass into a mirror, what you have to do? You have to paint one surface with silver. Okay, here what I have drawn rough, that is coated, that is painted with silver, and on that silver lead oxide is painted so that there are no scratches on the surface of that silver. Now this becomes the reflecting surface. This becomes a reflecting surface and we are able to see from this side. Okay, we stand on this side and see. The other side is being painted. Okay, this is how plane mirror is made. Now there is a can you recall question. What are the laws of reflection of light? Do you remember you had studied this in 8th standard? Reflection of light. Before studying the laws of reflection of light, we will revise about incident ray, reflected ray. Okay, now here you may see if this is a mirror. Okay, this is a mirror. This line drawn perpendicular to it, that is called as normal. The line drawn perpendicular, that is called as normal. The ray which is falling, okay, the ray which is falling, that is called as incident ray. This is called as incident ray. And the ray which is getting reflected, that is called as reflected ray. The angle made by the incident ray to the normal is called as angle of incidence. The angle made by the reflected ray to the normal is called as angle of reflection. Okay, it is not this angle, it is not this angle, it is this angle. Okay, so what is angle of incidence? Angle of incidence is the angle made by the incident ray to the normal, and angle of reflection is the angle made by the reflected ray to the normal. Now what are the laws of reflection? The first law is the incident ray, the reflected ray and the normal lie on the same plane. Second, the incident ray and the reflected ray lie on opposite sides of the normal. Okay, you may see they are on opposite sides of the normal. Third rule, the angle of incidence is equal to angle of reflection. Angle I is equal to angle R. These are the laws of reflection. I repeat, the incident ray, the reflected ray and the normal lie on the same plane. Second, the incident ray and the reflected ray lie on opposite sides of the normal. Third, the angle of incidence is equal to angle of reflection. In some schools, these questions are asked. Okay. Now, the next page is about the characteristics of images formed by a plane mirror. Characteristics of images formed by a plane mirror. Okay. They have shown some diagrams. First, the distance of the image is equal to distance of the object. That means they have shown a diagram, the diagram B, in that there is an object here. This is the mirror. Okay, this is the mirror. Now, the ray which is falling on a surface is getting reflected back. Okay, this is taken as R1. Okay, this is taken as R2. Okay, and this is taken as S2. One more point is taken. This is taken as R1 and this is taken as S1. So they have taken two rays, two incident rays and two reflected rays. These rays are extended backwards. These rays are extended backwards and they will meet at a point. That is the point where you will get the image, that is O1. Okay, I repeat, this is the incident ray, this is the reflected ray, this is the incident ray, this is the reflected ray. Okay, what is the importance? It should be equal. This is the normal, they should be equal. If you extend it backwards, they will meet at a point. That will be the point where you will get the image. Now if you measure this distance and this distance, that distance will be the same. Okay, that is the first characteristic of image formed by a plane mirror. That is, distance of image is equal to distance of object. Second is size of image is equal to size of object. Whatever size will be the object, the size of the image will be the same. The size of the object is equal to size of the image. Reflected rays never meet. You may see this is the reflected ray. This will go like this. This will go like this. They will never meet. They have to be extended backwards for us to get the image. So hence image is said to be virtual. Now what do you mean by a virtual image? Virtual image is an image which cannot be projected onto a screen. Okay, now if you might have done any activity like with the help of the dial of your watch, you focus the sunlight onto the walls. Okay, that means you are focusing the light which is falling on your dial, and the reflected ray, you are focusing it to somewhere else. That means in a real image that could be focused. Okay, that means you can get the image. The image can be projected onto a screen, onto a surface. Whereas in case of a virtual image, it cannot be projected onto a screen. The image which you see in the mirror, you cannot project it to anywhere. Okay, so it cannot be projected. So that type of image is called as a virtual image. Next, the image is laterally inverted. That means if you might have seen, the ambulance has been written in the inverted form on the ambulance. Why? It is written inverted so that the vehicle in front, the driver in the vehicle, can see what has been written in his mirror. Okay, in his rear view mirror. In his mirror, he will be able to read it correctly. That is the meaning. Okay, that means in this way. If it is written in this way, it is written in the inverted manner. Okay, in this way, like this. Okay, ambulance. This is called as laterally inverted. That laterally inverted means the right appears to be left and left appears to be right. So what are the characteristics? Distance of the image is equal to distance of the object. Size of the image is equal to size of the object. Reflected rays never meet, hence image is said to be virtual. Image is laterally inverted. These are the characteristics. Now you may see page number 116. Page number 116, can you tell questions? If you hold a page of a book in front of a mirror, we see laterally inverted letters because mirror has the property of lateral inversion. The answer is there in the first paragraph of page number 117. That is the answer. Second question, which letters of English alphabet form images that look the same as the original letters? Okay, so some of the letters which look, even if it is laterally inverted, it look the same. For example, A, H, I, M, O, T, U, V, W, okay, X and Y. These are the letters which look both ways the same. Laterally inverted also the same. Now page number 117, use your brain power question. When a person stands in front of a plane mirror, how is the image formed? What is the nature of the image? Okay, the image will be of the same size. It will be erect. Okay, it won't be inverted. It will be erect and it will be laterally inverted. Now the next is, if you place two mirrors at a particular angle with each other. Here the image is, the mirror is placed at 120 degree. This is one mirror and this is another mirror. If it is placed at 120 degree with each other, how many images will be formed? To find it out, there is an equation, there is a formula, that is n is equal to 360 upon a minus 1. Okay, the equation is n is equal to 360 upon a minus 1. Now, how will you find out with the help of this equation? A stands for the angle, this angle. If it is 120, then n will be equal to 360 upon 120 minus 1. Okay, 360 upon 120 minus 1. 360 upon 120, this will be 3. 3 minus 1, that is equal to 2. Okay, so how many images you can get if you place two plane mirrors at an angle of 120 to each other? You will get 2 images. Similarly, if you place them at 90 degree, you will get 3 images. If you place the mirrors at 60 degree, you will get 5 images. If you place them at 45 degree, you will get 7 images. And if you place them at 30 degree, you will get 11 images. Okay, this is if you know the value of angles, you have to substitute it in this equation and you have to find out the value. Okay, but if the mirrors are kept parallel to each other, that means if they have been kept parallel to each other, then how many images will be formed? There will be infinite number of images which will be formed. Okay, this is a very important question. How many images will be formed if you keep two mirrors parallel to each other? How many images will be formed? You will get infinite number of images. Okay, now this is about the first part of the chapter. Now we will go to the next. It is a proof question. Next is a proof question. To see the full image of a person standing in front of the mirror, the minimum height of the mirror should be half the height of the person. That means if you have to see yourself complete height in the mirror, then the minimum height of the mirror should be half the height of the person. Okay, so that means if I am of 5 feet, the mirror should be minimum 2.5 feet, which is kept at a particular height. Okay, here you may see PQ is the mirror. The person is HF. Okay, H stands for head, H stands for head, E stands for eyes, and F stands for foot. Okay, now the head, the light rays which are falling on the mirror, the light rays which are falling on the mirror, it gets reflected. Okay, the light rays which are falling from the eyes, it is getting reflected. Here, this is the point. PQ should be the mirror. You cannot keep it below. You have to keep it a particular height. But PQ is half of HF. That is what you have to prove. HF is the height of the person. This is the height of the person, and PQ will be half of HF. Okay. How will you prove? You have to take 2 points PQ. You have to draw a perpendicular line PR and a particular line QS. H, this is the incident ray, this is the reflected ray. Okay, so these angles are equal. This ray and this is the incident ray, this is the reflected ray. You can take it like that. These rays, this ray is taken. Okay, it is extended backwards. This is F, this is F1, this is S, this is S1. This is the image. This will be the image. Okay, basically PQ is equal to RS because they are perpendicular lines which are taken. PQ is equal to RS, which is equal to RE plus ES. Okay, RS is equal to RE plus ES. What is RE? RE is half of HE. That is, it is HE upon 2. What is HE? HE is the distance, the particular distance. And what is ES? This ES. ES is EF upon 2. It is EF upon 2. And what is HE plus EF? HE plus EF is HF, which is equal to HE plus EF upon 2, that is equal to HF upon 2. What is HF? HF is the height of the person. So PQ should be equal to HF upon 2, that is half of the person's height. If you are having a question to prove, you have to write the statement, you have to draw the diagram, you have to write you may draw a perpendicular PR and perpendicular QS, okay, and plot the points. PQ is equal to RS. This is the main thing which you have to write. PQ is equal to RS, which is equal to RE plus ES. RE is HE upon 2, ES is EF upon 2. So HE plus EF will give you HF upon 2. Hence PQ is equal to, PQ is equal to HF upon 2. That means the height of the mirror should be half the height of the person. Okay, you may copy this. Next topic is spherical mirrors. So we studied about plane mirror and the characteristics of images formed by plane mirrors. Now the next is spherical mirror. How is a spherical mirror made actually? Now this is a ball made up of glass. Consider it is a sphere which is made up of glass. It is cut. Okay, some part is cut. This much is cut. After cutting, this is the part which we have got. What you have to do? You have to paint one side. Okay, you have to paint one side. How you have to paint? You have to paint with silver and then give a coating of iron oxide. Okay, now if you are painting from this side, this will be the reflecting surface. Okay, the bulged part is the reflecting surface. If the reflecting surface is the bulged part, then it is said to be convex mirror. If this is the surface which you have taken, and if you are painting this part, if you are painting the bulged part, okay, then it is said to be a concave mirror. Okay, if the bulged part is the reflecting surface, then it is a convex mirror. If the curved part is the reflecting surface, then it is the concave mirror. Okay, the bulged part is reflecting, the curved part is reflecting. This is the difference between convex mirror and concave mirror. Now you may see the definition on page number 119. Concave mirror: if the inner surface of the spherical mirror is the reflecting surface, then it is called a concave mirror. If the outer surface of the spherical mirror is the reflecting surface, then it is called as a convex mirror. This is the definition for concave mirror and convex mirror. Now there are some terms related to a spherical mirror. You have to learn the definitions of all these. The first is center of curvature. Now just now I told you, you have to cut apart from a sphere of glass. This is the glass sphere and this is the mirror. Here it is a concave mirror, whether it is concave or convex. The part of the sphere of which the mirror is a part. The center of the sphere. The center of the sphere of which mirror is a part. That is called as center of curvature. The definition is there in the textbook. Here it is C. C is center of curvature. The center of the sphere of which mirror is a part. That is called as center of curvature. The distance from the center to the mirror, that is called as radius of curvature. Here CA is also radius, CP is also radius. Now this is the mirror, the center of the mirror surface, that is called as pole. This is the mirror, the center of the mirror surface, that is called as pole. Okay, that CP is the radius, the middle point, that is taken as focus. And the distance from the focus to the pole, that is taken as small f, which is equal to focal length. That is taken as focal length. Okay, so the main components: center of curvature, radius of curvature, pole. One more is there, the line passing through center of curvature and the pole, C and P. The line passing through the center of curvature and the pole, that line is called as principal axis. In a textbook, in some textbooks there is a misprint. It is principal axis and not principal focus. Okay, so what is center of curvature? It is the center of the sphere of which mirror is a part. What is radius of curvature? The radius of curvature is the distance from the center to the surface of the mirror. Okay. Third is principal axis. What is principal axis? The line passing through the center of curvature and the pole is called as principal axis. What is pole? Pole is the center of the mirror surface. Okay. And what is principal focus? Now focus is a point where the reflected rays meet or diverge. Okay. Now what do you mean by meet or diverge? You may see this is a concave mirror. Why a concave mirror? Because this is the reflecting surface and this part, the outer surface, is painted. The inner surface is reflecting. So it is concave mirror. The incident ray, the ray which is falling on the mirror, it passes through a point. This is the reflected ray. This is the incident ray. This also will pass through that point only. So whatever rays are falling on the surface, they will meet at a point. That point is called as principal focus of concave mirror. What is principal focus of convex mirror? This is the convex mirror. The bulged part is the reflecting surface. This is the incident ray. This is the reflected ray. Okay, it is getting reflected. They are getting diverged. This is the incident ray and this is the reflected ray. So the reflected rays are not meeting, but if they are taken backwards, okay, if they are extended backwards, they will meet at a point that is said to be principal focus of convex mirror. So principal focus of concave mirror is on the reflecting surface, and the principal focus of convex mirror is behind the mirror. Okay, it is the behind the mirror. This is in front of the mirror and this is behind the mirror. This is the principal focus of convex mirror and concave mirror. We shall see the definition on page number 119. Principal focus. Incident rays which are parallel to the principal axis of a concave mirror after reflection from the mirror meet at a particular point. So you may see here, they meet at a point, reflected rays meet at a particular point in front of the mirror on the principal axis. This point is called as principal focus of concave mirror. If you are having a question, principal focus of concave mirror, you have to write till here. Next is, in case of a convex mirror, the incident rays parallel to the principal axis after reflection appear to come from a particular point behind the mirror lying along the principal axis. This point is called as principal focus of convex mirror. Next is focal length. What is focal length? The distance between the focus and the pole, that is called as focal length. Now there is a question below, use your brain power question. What is the difference between principal focus of concave and convex mirror? In case of concave mirror, the reflected rays meet at a point. In case of convex mirror, they appear to come from a particular point. It seems that it is coming from this point. Second, F is in front of the mirror. The principal focus is in front of the mirror. In this case, it is behind the mirror. This is a very important question. It is there in the notes. So today we are studied about mirror, the characteristics of images formed by a plane mirror and the terms related to spherical mirrors. You may read till here. If you are having any doubts, you may ask. Thank you.